it's Lyarrah, and today you join me back over here on Truly Bedrock, where I'm hanging out with a few of my friends. A few dozen of my friends. That's right, we've been working on the Crab Island on stream, and well, every single one of these crabs has only a 1% chance of existing, and there's a lot of them, though, you know, things have been busy on Twitch. That's right. Despite my absence here on YouTube, we have been doing a lot on Truly Bedrock, namely terraforming this entire island to begin with, but there's been quite a few other things too. Mainly, we've been working on my base. And by base, I mean my regular base, not my starter base, not the mega base that I have planned that we talked about last episode, just a plain, ordinary, regular sized base. And specifically, it's a Pokémon Center. Oh, this is not the Pokémon Center from any specific game. This is kind of like the platonic ideal of a Pokémon Center. It's got the red arched roof, it's got the white walls, it's got the counter waiting for Nurse Joy right here inside, which I really don't know what I'm gonna put back here. I think that I may put a panda and name it Chansey, who knows. But one big ol' field of red netherwort later, we have put this together on stream, and I have just started working on the interiors. Now, I'm real proud of how this floor turned out. It is just basic terracotta, but I reasoned, hey, that looks kind of like a Pokeball. We'll go with it. I've got a cute little sitting area over here, and I've got plenty of room to put additional seating areas and like a little cafe and bunk rooms, everything like that, all put together in here. We even have the Pokemart, which is my new storage. Now, I have not finished putting everything over into here. Funny story, I actually died on stream and lost all my stuff while I was on a BRB. So I kind of got stopped in the middle of this and had to go put together a new set of equipment. Everything but the shovel. Everything but the shovel. That was in my ender chest. But we have the basics put in here so far, and we'll continue organizing it. But so I've got this split into light wood, dark wood, and colorful wood, with wood pieces and saplings slash other wood accessories on this side as an example, with the other side being dirt and grass, mud, because boy, we have a lot of mud, and moss and other lush things. And we've got other sections organized similarly. We've got a few empty barrels still, which is good because I think I've got a few things to come shove in these empty barrels. That's going to be the redstone barrel. Now, is this possibly the most inconvenient storage system I've ever had? Well, we'll see. I haven't had a chance to use it much yet. I think it's going to be fine, although now I'm questioning why I put 2 rows of a material that I have no plans to use. Now, the 2 rows of mud, on the other hand, that is necessary. That is absolutely necessary because we still have that mega base to work on. For right now, I need some more mangrove to go ahead and put together the tables in here. And I am sick of chopping it, so we're wandering back over to the shopping district. And one of these days I will remember that I have another portal in here now. Now to go back to the cave. There's another portal right here. And here we are, the shopping district, with lots of mangrove, though that's not where I'm after. I'm actually after this shop right here. I would be after Zloy's underground log shop, but he hasn't stocked mangrove in ages that I am aware of. There's some changes around here that I figured I would let y'all know about first. Obvious teal now over here, or blue. They will tell you it's blue, but it's definitely teal, obviously. At any rate, quite a few things have happened and the whole shopping district has been turned blue. The rocket shop, the dinosaur, the pineapple top, even Deadpool has been turned blue. Why has this happened, you may ask? Well, that is an advertising campaign, I believe, because there is the blue shop and the green shop and the orange shop and the red shop all duking it out over here. I was gonna make a yellow shop at one point in time, but eventually decided I was gonna stay out of this madness. So basically the blue shop and the green shop have been competing for everybody's business the whole season, with a couple of the others trailing behind. And when I say trailing behind, I mean they've had perfectly good business. They just have not been quite so aggressive about their advertisements. And when I say that Blue Shop has gotten aggressive about their advertisements, I mean it. They have now hit the moon somehow. I am not clear on what happened. I just know that I logged in one day and part of the moon was blue, and it looks very silly. I mean, yes, I know our broken moon already looks kind of silly, but I like better that way. Okay, that's funny. There was a little patch of green left underneath where the carpet was. They had not bothered dyeing blue. That's fantastic. And of course, we can't forget what we actually came over here for. There it is. I always expect the birch block to be over there for some reason, but no. It's floating clear over here. And mangrove. Heck yeah. Uh-oh. 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 Guess we're going into Zoe's shop after all. Do I even have the book for that? Well, I definitely don't have it without my ender chest. Jeez. No ender chest in here? What kind of shop is that? Secret tome number 1. Here's hoping that's the right thing. I forgot. Oh, wait. It's just a painting thing, isn't it? Yes. Okay. That was the right book. Excellent. Well, let's see if Zly's actually stock up down here. I know he's been on the server again lately. Anime spruce, sideways spruce, blood spruce, and that's... No, I have to cut my own mangrove. Boy! Zly! I don't even know which one of these he actually lives in. Zly, where are you? Ah, this one, apparently. Hi.
Hi, hold on a second. There you go. What?
The shop's out of mangrove again.
Both shops!
Yes, both yours and the competition are both out of mangrove.
What's Blood's excuse? He has an auto farm!
You think mangrove works in auto farms?
I'm pretty sure he can just blow it up. I'm the one making everything by hand. He's the one, like, you know, with industry and whatnot.
Okay,
Anyway.
fine, but you're the one that was logged in, so I thought I'd bother you about it.
Alright. Do you actually need it, or, like, are you just upset that the shop is out or
Yes,
something?
I unfortunately have chosen a red color scheme, so...
Okay, I remember restocking it, and I remember not telling anyone that I restocked it, because if I tell, they will buy it and I'll have to restock it again.
Fair enough. I guess I'll just go chop it myself. I only need like 2 stacks, so...
Nah, I have 3. Here we go.
Oh, alright, I guess
I was using it for something or other, I don't remember. I don't keep track of what I've been doing on the... Oh, yeah, right.
Payment. You
Yep.
don't keep track. Yeah,
And-
you... Speaking of keeping track, what are you doing?
Well, is it not obvious?
Are they trees or mushrooms?
Oh, you do not. Oh, you do. Oh, boo. They are perfectly fine autumn trees. Beautiful,
No, they're cute.
Beautiful red and orange colors.
They're just
You know.
very round. I wanted to make sure.
Because trees are hard to build, okay?
Yeah, they're lovely. The fact that you've decided it's October in here, I don't know about anymore, but
Listen, I just am really not ready to deal with summer. It gets up to like 25 degrees here. I start just melting.
it's been
Anyway,
25
yeah.
for like a month here. Jeez.
Yeah, while everyone was, you know, nuking the shopping district, turns out nobody was looking at the spawn town, and I decided to take that opportunity to just take over and refurbish everything. Because, like, this part, for example, was just a giant blank space with, like, Silence Tree Farm, Silence Bee Farm, just a bunch of silenced random garbage from the beginning of the season. And honestly, that was kind of embarrassing for a server with multiple full-time YouTubers on.
Is that why you got rid of Gargamel finally?
Well, also I was tired of seeing him. That was kind of the primary motivation. But also, yeah, without the cauldron, what's it called? The crafting table does make for a much better centerpiece.
I feel like this needs one thing.
Do tell.
Let me go grab it. You grab some bone meal.
Okay,
Hello.
what is it? Oh, it's one of them boys.
Yeah, which should be opening up right about. I don't know how to trigger them to actually open, but they turn orange when they open.
Well, it's not bone meal, I'll tell you that.
Well, the bone meal is supposed to give you more of them, but I think maybe that only works on grass. Oh, it opened. It opened.
Oh, I guess it just takes a little.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they aren't detecting constantly or
So,
anything, but yeah, no, if you want a few of those.
Mortal Bloom unlocked. What the heck? These do fit the vibe like a lot.
I thought so. Flowers delivered. Yeah, I think those suit the area quite nicely, and this place is lit up enough to actually be wanderable at night now, so
I know,
people
right?
see them open once in a while.
I can only hope.
Now,
Yeah, more and more of them. It's like that's a lot of effort for like 2 pixels of orange.
yeah, it's up to you. Thank you for the mangrove, though.
Oh, no problem.
I'm gonna co-use it.
Don't tell anyone that I've taken over the spawn town, unless they're wanting to help. This is a lot of terraforming.
Zoe did do a really cool job with all of this. Like, my teasing aside, because I just had to give him a hard time about them being a little mushroom shaped. This is pretty excellent. I can't do custom trees worth of darns. Good job, bud. Good job. I love it. Hi. I got carried away. Yeah, so we're done with the Pokemon Center. Well, not done, but it's pretty done. It's pretty done. So I would like to give you a tour of it. First off, now behind the nurse's counter, we have the little like machine that actually heals your Pokemon, and these look like little cups to hold Pokeballs, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. We've got an ender chest to be the computer over there. Nice little cafe over here. Little coffee counter. Could put somebody working over here, but I don't know what would be funniest to have mob-wise. Whole little counter area, a couple tables to sit at, trash can to throw away everything. You saw the seating area earlier, but mushroom couches are still the best couches there are. The Pokemart is now done as well, so I've got valuables behind the counter here, and everything else spread out throughout the place. I did wind up having to install extra barrels in the floor to be overflow for things, especially stuff like my hay bales, because even the back wall was not enough for that. But you know, I need a lot of a few materials here. Okay, back here we first have a bathroom, which is meant to be like a truck stop bathroom, so it's got not just the toilets, but also some shower stalls as well. And then the exam rooms on back here, where we've got exam tables, we've got a little section of counter, we've got a trash can. I do want to put like paintings up. All 3 of these exam rooms are pretty much the same. And then we have a larger one that's meant to be like a surgical suite / this is where they bring your onyx or whatever, you know? The big Pokemon, the big one. Upstairs is a little bit simpler. It is mostly just seating areas with more mushroom couches. Again, mushroom couches, best couch. Big old seating area here. I think that it probably could have used like a cafeteria to go with that rather than just a little coffee shop. But I figure most trainers probably carry their own food with them or whatever. Through these, we have bunk rooms. These, again, I've based this far more on like the animes vibes than the games vibes. So we've got bunk beds for everybody. We've got some storage back here. Got a lamp, all that good stuff in each of the rooms. Guess maybe they could use a TV. I hadn't thought about that. There's usually a TV that they can watch the news on at these places in the anime. And then last but not least, portal room is also the trading room, because I figured since it's trading between dimensions, it makes sense. And of course we have a link cable to connect the 2 panels to go ahead and trade your Pokemon from one side to the other. I thought it was cute. Inconsistent here with which side is down, I think. The worst part is I went to all the trouble, clearly, of getting down underneath there to attach those ones like that, only to be like, nah, never mind. I like it better the other way. But yeah, I've got a few plants around the place and stuff like that. I might want to change up the lighting, but mostly I think it just needs a few paintings, and it is done. On the inside, at least. See, I talked myself into working on the outside as well. Yes, I'm supposed to be working on all this still. Yes, the whole point of me making an episode was supposed to be for me to get started on this. But that is not happening at this exact moment, apparently. Instead, what I have been working on is this cute little stream. I saw the divot right here, I saw that divot right there, and I decided that I needed to go ahead and connect it. So we're gonna have a little like mountain spring over here, and it's just got a stream following along from there. This is my preferred kind of bottom for a stream bed. I have not done the sides of it at all yet, so ignore that there's, you know, a coal sticking out and stuff like that. This is actually going to have a separate pipe coming out over here, implied to do something underground, and then spitting out through over here, because we've decided on stream that this Pokemon Center is powered by a tiny hydroelectric plant, because that's apparently something that places in the middle of nowhere do sometimes. They can't be on the grid. So yeah, that's what this wall is meant to be for. I'm still deciding if I like this kind of gradual waterfall that I have here, or if I want to go ahead and crop it into a more sudden drop off right up at the wall. But this is just what we're playing around on stream right now. We have been talking and talking about what I've done on stream, and while I'm very proud of all of it, and I will be continuing to do work on stream, I think it's about time that we actually got some work done here on the actual video. That's right, peeps, it is time. We have had this outline down for ages, but we have never actually started on the build. We just have gathered all the materials for it. Let's find our camera a good view of this whole base and slap this shulker down and start placing mud bricks. All right, so we have the base for the arena and for the two towers here. We just have one small problem. I apparently had put this crossbar into the wrong spot somewhere along the line. There was an even number on one side and odd on the other, which means that this was an even number across, not an odd number across. So I need to decide which side I like better and copy it onto the other side, because right now it is linking up in different places right here. Also means that this is technically What do you mean that I hit the ground hard enough to break a toe? Okay. Any rate, I definitely like how that side turned out better than this side, so I am going to count off from this one. Goes to here, yada yada, and I'll go do some counting on both sides so that 1, 2. Uh-oh. I know I have no confidence that I'm doing. Okay. Corner of 416. And so it's a gap of 218. So that it actually meets up at 416. Y'all don't have to hear me count it out, but let's go ahead and get this. Let's get this symmetrical. So somehow in all of this crossbar was only one short in this direction, which does make sense. That does work out. But with all of the like changing and rearranging I had to do over here, I thought I was way further off than that. Oh my god. Also, I did not realize one thing when I selected my material for this base. I did not realize how bad the noises that mud makes. I'm not pleased with it at all. And now I'm suddenly realizing I know why I messed things up. This is only supposed to be 3 of these 3s in a row, not— oh, so it both was asymmetrical and I made other mistakes. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But I don't like where this meets up with that as well. No. Okay, we're gonna switch to the wider option then. We're gonna switch to the wider option. It's fine. 3, 3, 1, 2. I still didn't line something up properly. What's going on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that is what? We'll sort it. We'll figure it out. That works. All right. So we have finished that. That took way too many tries because I had the symmetry all wrong, because these 2 bars right here and right there were not the right distance from each other and from the center. But we got there in the end. It only took like 4 rebuilds. Now our next stop is to take this and make it more 3D. We need to go ahead and figure out how tall each section of this is going to be. We need the height for the stadium section here, for the more cathedral-y bit here, and of course for the towers in the middle, how tall those are going to actually work out to. So we're going to plop down in the middle here without popping another totem. I think I'm going to let this front entrance section be kind of our guide for heights, because if I'm looking at the towers and I'm looking at the actual build, it feels to me like this width here is about the same as the height of the main roof through this section. Maybe not the most ornamental sections, but like the peak of this roof seems to be about however wide this is. There's apparently 17 blocks, so we are going to pick a spot that should be that height, which I would say is this like entire center stretch here. And we're going to go ahead and put some lines across it. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, this is a temporary block for many reasons. One of them being that the roof is about the only part of this thing not made out of either mud, brick, or glass. The other being that right about here is actually where the towers need to punch through the roof. But I think as a general guideline to get a feel for the size and shape of the build, this is about what we want. Oh my god, distraction. We have cold cows here. I didn't realize we were going to have cold cows here. Oh my goodness. Hi. You have the best horns out of all the cows. You're so fun. I love you. What I was trying to say. Oh, nope. No, now we got a cold chicken. Hi. Because cold chickens and cold cows are both definitely Pokemon. Tell me they're not. Look at that thing. I need a hairdo like yours. Anyway, next step, as I'm trying to say, things that are the same height as that should be the outline of the dome in the middle, and the outline of the dome should be just a hair narrower than, in fact, maybe it's this, yeah, it's just a hair narrower than this. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and call it, and we got to make sure we actually pillar up in the middle instead of flubbing that again. This is going to be my first real feel for, I have not pre-built any of this in creative. We are freehanding all of this from images as we go. Is that a stupid decision? Very possibly, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so this dome in the ceiling is going to be my first real like look at whether or not we're going to be able to do the detailing at the scale that we want to. So I need to actually go ahead and put this direction as well. Looking at it, I don't think we're going to get as intricate of detail as I would have liked on this, but that is still a big enough dome for me to feel satisfied with getting some detail out of it. I think this is still going to be, I think this is probably the largest that I can realistically build it and actually get it built. Whether or not I realistically will ever get it built. Now that I'm looking at the build again, I think that actually the stadium's like on a lower level than the rest of the building. We aren't going with that though. We are not going to worry about any of that kind of stuff. We are going to keep this all on the same elevation. So if I wind up with a little bit less room, like maybe I can lower the interior of the stadium if I need a little bit more space in it. Thinking that from the looks of it, the dome that's in the stadium, which is a oval shaped dome, not a circular dome, is probably about the same width as this. I'm going to make it a little bit wider just for some differences in decoration and stuff. But I think that is our next ticket, is putting that at the right height over in here. What am I saying? Next ticket is to actually put like the heights of the walls around the place. If that's the full height of the roof, we probably want about 2/3 of that to be the height of the walls. So that's around 10 blocks for these ones down here in front. That's going to put us to Y97 on each of these. And we'll put a few of these around the place just to get a feel for the height. All right, peeps, I got good news and bad news, and they are the same news. The news is that I've extruded this into a 3D shape. So this is now the full height along all of these so that you can see where the front roof is going to be versus where the main roof is going to be. Along the way, I found a better reference angle for the build, or more accurately, I found like a hand-drawn frame as opposed to the 3D model that most of the shots of the build are throughout the movie. I like this angle a little bit better because everything is just a little bit thicker, and I think that it'll be easier to get a good level of detail into the Minecraft. So I'm still happy with the heights that I've got here, but I am no longer happy with the shape here. I feel like it is just not leafy enough, not spiky enough. It's too round. It's too dang round. You just watched me completely lose my mind measuring this out and counting out threes over and over again. Oh no, I'm gonna tear it out. This is why so many other Minecrafters build things in creative first. Me, I don't like building things twice. So that's why I'm building it like 17 times instead, apparently. On the eventual subject of building things twice, though, I do plan to build just one of the towers originally and then use Structura or Holoprint. Not sure because I have not messed around with Holoprint yet. Use one of the two of them to then mirror that over on the other side so that I can make sure that the two pillars are actually identical, because I will scream if I find out that they're a couple blocks off from each other. Mind you, this other angle also gives me permission to make that center dome be like 2 or 4 blocks wider, but I don't like the shapes of the circles of the next few sizes up, so I don't know if I will take advantage of that, or I don't know. This one's simple but smooth, you know? I like it. Mind you, I've been freehanding a bunch of curves around here too, so. All right, is that more leaf shape now? Yes. All right, now to do the other 7. Mind you, the other camera angle is also giving me the nightmarish realization that the giant towers here are connected diagonally to small towers there. So this is going to be one thing after another to try and connect up lots of little intricate details that I don't know what material to use for, to be completely honest, because a lot of it is meant to be done in iron, but like cast iron. And we don't have anything cast iron colored in the game. I mean, we kind of do, like polished deep slate, but it needs to be one piece, you know, the pattern needs to flow from one piece to the next, not be blatant blocks. I don't know what I'm doing when I get to that part. We'll figure it out. I'm leaning towards tough, honestly. One thing that is consistent between both those images and the other viewpoints that I have of the building is that the height of the towers from this roof to the tippy top seems to be about the same as the width of the building. So we're going to, for a second there, I thought I'd handily gotten this on an even number, but no, the 1450 is the other direction. Okay, I think I just forgot to include the original block. Point being, we're fine. I didn't mess anything further up. I don't think, I'm sure I did, but at this stage, we are still good. So that means that I need to go 125 blocks up from here. And how far in do I want that? I want that relatively close to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. All right. I guess we'll just count this out by pillaring up a full stack and then another 41. All right, let's go ahead and see how high that feels. See if that feels like the right proportion. It's going to be really hard to tell until I get the other lines in, isn't it? Oh dear. Yeah, until I get the second line doing the swoop-de-swoop over here, I don't think that I'm going to be able to judge if that feels quite right. I mean, it feels about the right height. It honestly might not feel tall enough, so maybe we need this plus the roof. I'll go ahead and build that swirl up and see how I like it then. All right, so I've brought us out of Minecraft for just a moment so that I can measure some stuff on here rather than just eyeballing it. We cannot see the whole width of the whole building, but we know that these towers here end where like the curve of the leaf shape is, so the point of it should be out over about here. We do not need to know what that distance is at the moment, though. Compare this in the middle, which is roughly 124 pixels wide, to this on the side, which is about 149 pixels. So we know that the fattest part of the tower is wider than the middle bit by about 1/5. This middle part is a little bit wider than that dome that we've got there. So we need to figure out how wide the dome is and add about 1/5 to 1/4 to it to go ahead and get the widths correct. So we know the center dome here is 15 wide. So that makes the space between these 17, 19, 21, 23, 25 at the moment. Whoops. I may cram those one closer together, but 25 sized up would be 30. So let's see how much 30 wide winds up being here. So 29, so that we include that. This, mind you, is my favorite way to count in Minecraft rather than walking along counting, is just make the stack be the size that you want it to be. You do have to make sure you don't like break and replace any blocks in the process then. That's about right. And that was 125 blocks. We want to go about 1/3 of that. So let's do 42 blocks for the fun of it. Will be where the widest part of the curve is. So I need to ask myself 2 important questions. One, does this look like the right width compared to the building as a whole? Which I think the answer is yes. And 2, does this feel like I've left enough room for a second tower over here for the short towers? And the answer also feels like yes to that. I think we about got it. Now to go back and check the footage and find out how far that was, because while I am going to do like the whole tower using structural later, as far as it originally goes here, I do want to get the initial size up towers built on both sides so that I have an idea of what I'm doing. I guess then the other question I have to ask myself is that the height with or without the spire on the top? Just so I know how I'm shaping this curve. Well, let's try the curve and see what we think. Well, let's size this up on the other side first, and then let's see what we think. So a bit of trial and error and moving sliders around on plots later. I think I am happy with that. Yeah, I think I'm very happy with that as the arc. This right here is a circle. Well, is 2 arcs of a circle. I started with the width of it as the diameter of the circle, decided that wasn't big enough, and just kept adding like another 15 blocks to the circle until I liked how the first stretch of arc went. And I liked it so much that I went ahead and built the rest of them just to make sure that I actually liked what I was seeing. But that genuinely feels about right. I think that these are indeed the height without the roof on top of it. So that means I'm going to be trying to connect these up to here, not to down here, if that makes sense. But I do want to go ahead and size up the smaller towers as well, and also maybe get a thickness, like the front to back going on these towers here real quick. So let's get that sized out. All right, please ignore the particle effects fading currently as I just popped another totem. But I think we've got our sized up here. I feel like that is good for our width. Let me go ahead and look at it from the side a little bit better. Feels so narrow somehow, but like looking at the image, it's not that wide, so I don't know what to do about that. I have made this approximately the same width as the entrance to the place. And that seems to be to scale. Like everything seems to be to scale here. I will say I've already reached the point where I don't know if I should be continuing to do all of the same support struts on both sides, or if I should just be doing one of the towers so that I can mirror it more easily. That's actually like kind of true of the entire structure at this point. I think that either we've already got all the outlines that I want to do before I start just doing half at a time. Yeah, I think the only other outline I'm going to put in is the one that I just did there. And I guess I don't want to figure out the shape of the spire right now, but I probably should. That does mean running over to get some other materials so that we can tell what's what here. But that's what I've been hoarding dripstone for, is the roof here. And I know that doesn't look like hoarding right there, but we've got 2 whole shulkers of dripstone blocks in there, and nope, none out here. 2 shulkers should hopefully be enough to build the, well, it's enough to build the roofs of the spires, at least, for sure, but now I have some doubts about the regular roof. We've only gone through 1 shulker of the mud brick so far. I think we'll be fine. All right, I've sketched out a few more lines. I have not actually used that dripstone I grabbed yet, but I realized that I hadn't put any of the top bar on the stadium here, and I wanted to go ahead and do that, which I am letting the roof be a little bit higher on that section. It looks like it is in the pictures, and it just feels right. I think because it's having to connect with like the highest point of the roof. There's one last piece that I do want to map out for the arena section, and that is mostly because I'm putting off actually building the spires, obviously. But it's also because, oh wait, this is going to be too low. Well, we'll just build up to where it needs to be at. So I believe that I want the dome that's in this section to be about even with the flat parts of it. We can't get a great look at it, but it looks like that's about where the oval shaped dome lines up. And it feels just a little bit wider than this front dome. It's maybe about the same width as the bottom of the dome as opposed to the glass of the dome. So I'm going to make it the same width as the opening area, even though I'm not like thrilled about the circle for that size. All right, so I haven't put the spire on yet, but that's because I was putting the roof line and dome line onto the arena part there. So this is all sized out. We're getting a better idea of what the profile view is going to be on it as well. So I guess that is time to figure out how tall the spires are actually going to be. Looking at our straight on view of the towers again here, I've realized that we definitely have made the towers too tall, because this is at about 420 pixels versus the whole width here is at about 600 pixels at this stage. Wait, no, that's backwards then. We're fine. Looking back at our full version again, when we kind of guesstimate where the edges should be, we get about 620 pixels wide, 630, somewhere in that, which I believe is around what we're looking at for the full height here. That's 680. Actually, up to where the roof starts, only 420. So we, are actually making this thing too high. But that is fine. We want it to look right proportionately. We want to do the perspective on it. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it being a little bit taller. These things aren't, well, I guess they are. Are they kept consistent? They aren't kept consistent. We already said that I'm now working off of the 2D drawing rather than the 3D model that they have. Anyway, what I meant to be checking by looking at these was actually figuring out where over the tower the spire itself is kind of centered. It seems to be about a quarter of the way in, a little bit towards the middle of this section up here on top. So between that and that, I want to put it just a little bit that side of the middle. One of these days I'll land on my first try. By the way, yes, it has been snowing up here. No, I do not know how to deal with that. I think I'm just going to have to accept that there will be snow on the spires. I don't think most of this roof is being built out of stuff that snow will not build up on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't actually know how tall I'm making this. Hold up. Okay, wow. So the spires should be about half the height of the tower. So that means we are going from what, 154 down to 103 here, so that's about 51 blocks tall for the spire. That seems a lot. That seems a lot, but we'll do it. Let's see, does that look? Yeah, that looks proportionate. Wow, that is so dang tall, but that looks about right. Yeah, that looks about right for it. All right, I just noticed someone's been over here stripping leaves. Either that or these got hit by lightning or something. Definitely leaves missing from several of the trees in the area for some reason. By the way, I am proud to say that I showed this in the Truly Bedrock back room, and somebody did correctly identify it as a harp, because at the end of the day, that's kind of what the building is. It's a giant musical instrument. If we look at the actual picture here, then yeah, like I do see this is the strings of a harp. So it suits, it fits, it works. I'm happy. We are making progress. That said, I think that we're hitting the point where a lot of what I'm going to be doing now is going to be less math, more vibes. As a result, I think that this is actually a really good spot to go ahead and wrap things up for today. So we've got our wireframe done here. Well, done's a strong word for it, but we've got a wireframe. We know how big this sucker's going to be. Now I can go ahead and start getting, you know, like the cross sections and the more intricate shapes of the roof, everything like that put together for it. But that is what we will do together next time. For today, thank you so much everybody for hanging out with me. If you had as much fun as I did, make sure you leave a like. If you're new around here and you'd like to hang out again next time, then hey, please subscribe. Take care, everybody. Toodles!